It's time to confront two of the most popular hair supplements right now, Nutrafol versus Viviscal. So, which of them makes the better choice overall? Coming up. Hello everyone, this is Oli from Hair Recommendations, and on my channel I'm doing guides and reviews on products in the health niche. So if you want to stay updated, hit the subscribe button below. Also, if you want to see this full review, you can go to my website howtogetgrayhair.com, or you can get it by checking out the first link in the description box. Now, getting to this review, I want to make a comparison between Viviscal and Nutrafol, and I'm going to analyze several aspects about each, picking a winner in each chapter. So whoever wins most wins the game. It's as easy as that. This review is going to have two parts, the summary and the full review, so I'm going to start right now with the summary. As a quick conclusion, between Nutrafol and Viviscal, I would probably go for Viviscal. They're both some excellent products, but Viviscal has four major advantages over Nutrafol. First of all, it's considerably cheaper. Nutrafol costs almost double than Viviscal. Then Nutrafol has only one clinical trial behind, where Viviscal has three. Also, Viviscal's customer feedback is a lot better, so it has way more positive reviews compared to Nutrafol. And lastly, it only requires taking 2 pills a day, while Viviscal requires 4, which isn't really very comfortable. As I said, they're both some excellent products. They have great features, but Viviscal has some advantages at certain chapters, so that's why I picked it as my winner. Now, it's true that both of them are really expensive products, so you may not afford them. That's totally fine. I couldn't afford them either. And if that's your case, I do recommend a cheaper alternative. I've been using it for a long time and it works pretty much as well as these two products. So if that's your case, just check out the description box and you can find there the link. And this being said, it's time to get to my full analysis on Nutrafol versus Viviscal. If you ask me, Nutrafol's formula is a lot better overall. That's because it has several active ingredients with studies behind, while Viviscal is mostly based on only one substance. I'm going to start my analysis with Nutrafol, whose formula is literally amazing. It contains 2 blends, which are actually a combination of several ingredients. The first blend has a really simple name. It's called Nutrafol Blend, and it contains several ingredients, among which I would name horsetail extract, several amino acids, and capsaicin. The second one is Synergen Complex, and this one is actually more of a herbal complex. It's based mostly on herbs. I would include here saw palmetto, ashwagandha, and marine collagen. Now, these 2 blends contain a lot of varied ingredients, which means that Nutrafol can help a bunch of hair issues, from breakage and hair growth to thinning, hair loss, and everything you can think of. Now, getting to Viviscal, it is mostly based on one active ingredient. It's called aminomar, and it's made from shark cartilage and oyster powder. You should know that this ingredient is original and you can only find it in Viviscal products, so it's not available in any other hair products. And in terms of effect, it mostly helps with growth and thickening hair. As for the other ingredients from Viviscal, they're mostly vitamins, minerals, and herbal extracts. There are actually 2 herbal extracts. I'm talking about millet seed and horsetail. So overall, if you compare these 2 formulas, you can pretty much say that Nutrafol's ingredients are a lot better. They have better properties, better doses, and a much stronger effect even on paper. So that's why I would pick Nutrafol as the winner at this chapter. Viviscal is the winner here because its capsules and serving size are smaller, but I'm going to start by analyzing Nutrafol. Well, if you're familiar with turmeric pills, you probably know how Nutrafol's pills look like. They have average dimensions, a gelatin cover, and a orange powder inside. So when it comes to swallowing them, it's not a pretty hard job. However, Nutrafol has another major problem at this chapter, its serving size requires 4 pills per day, which is a lot. That's really uncomfortable and hard to take because there is the risk that you forget about taking at least one of the pills, so I would really point this out as a major downside. On the other hand, Viviscal's pills are quite unusual for a hair supplement. That's because they have smaller dimensions and a round shape. This means they're really easy to take and really easy to swallow. And the actual advantage of Viviscal compared to Nutrafol is that it only requires 2 pills per day, so its serving size is 2 pills per day, and that's a lot lower and a lot more comfortable than if you took 4 pills per day as in Nutrafol's case. For this reason, I would pick Viviscal as the winner at this chapter. I tested out both of these supplements myself, and overall I could say that I had a better experience with Nutrafol. My background was a massive hair loss, thinning hair, and I had a pretty hard time growing my hair out. First of all, I used Nutrafol for about 2 months and I could notice an improvement in this period. My hair loss reduced a lot. My hair felt like it had a lot more volume and it was a lot thicker. And I also noticed that it was growing out faster than before. However, the only thing that I could not notice was an improvement in my thinning ends, but that was pretty much impossible considering that I used this supplement for only 2 months. But overall, I was kind of satisfied with the results for only 2 months. As for Viviscal, I actually used it for 4 months, so twice as much as I used Nutrafol, but my results weren't as good. It did help my hair loss, it did help reduce it, and my hair had more volume and it felt thicker, but I could not notice any improvement in terms of hair growth, so my hair was growing as usual, as if I wasn't taking anything, so there was no difference at this chapter. That's why I think that my results with Nutrafol were better, considering that I took it for a lot shorter period of time compared to Viviscal, which did not work as well in a longer period. So I would probably pick Nutrafol at this chapter. I tried to analyze other users' opinion on these 2 products, and for this reason I checked out their Amazon reviews because they are known to be made by real users. Overall, Viviscal has a much better customer feedback, so that's why I picked it as the winner at this chapter. But I'm going to start with Nutrafol. Overall, it has a rating of about 3.5 stars out of 500 reviews. That's not a lot, but it's not that bad either. Among its satisfied customers, I could find many praises on its effect on hair growth, hair loss, thinning hair, and all the hair benefits it has. But on the negative side, most people complain about its price, which is totally understandable. I do agree that it's extremely expensive. And I also I managed to find a couple of reviews complaining about its poor effect, which is also normal because no product can work for everyone. As for Viviscal, it has an average rating of about 4 stars out of 200 reviews, so there are a lot more satisfied customers compared to Nutrafol. On the positive side, I found many praises on its effect on hair and everything this includes. Some people claim it's amazing for hair loss, others say that it really speeded up their hair growth, and so on. But on the negative side, I could not find as many complaints as I found in Nutrafol. The most common ones for Viviscal were a poor effect, a weak effect, some people claiming that it did not work for them, which is again totally fine because Viviscal or any other product cannot work for every single customer that uses it. So it's totally fine, but I decided to go for Viviscal. I would decide to go for Viviscal if I had to count on these reviews because it had a much higher number of satisfied customers compared to Nutrafol. I would start by saying that I was quite disappointed by both Viviscal's and Nutrafol's price. They're both extremely expensive and hard to afford on the long term. However, Viviscal costs about half from Nutrafol. This is why it's clearly a winner. So if I had to pick a winner between these two, even though I don't like and I don't agree with their prices, it would be Viviscal because it's much cheaper. Now I'm going to start with Nutrafol. Its regular price is $88 per bottle, no matter which of its 3 versions you choose. You also have the chance to go for auto shipping, to sign up for their auto shipping, and in this case you can get it for $79 per bottle. That's once again expensive, but at least you're saving about $9. However, I do not recommend going for auto shipping in a product you're trying for the first time. So if I were you, I would probably buy this supplement for 1, 2, or 3 months, see if it works, and only then go for auto shipping. Plus that both $88 and $79 are some really huge prices, so I don't really think I could ever recommend this kind of supplement because it's way too expensive to afford, especially on the long term. So even though you may afford it this month, keep in mind that you have to afford it the next month as well, because if you just try a supplement for 1 month and then you quit it, there's no point, it's not going to work. You need to try it for at least 2 or 3 months if you really want to see its effect. So I would truly not recommend Nutrafol when it comes to price. It's just way too expensive. As for Viviscal, it's also expensive. Its regular price is $50 per bottle, but there's also a 3-month supply which costs $120. So if you make the calculations, that's about $40 per bottle. There's pretty much a $10 discount if you buy the 3-month supply from the start. So $40 per bottle is a bit more affordable, but it's still expensive. So if I were you, I would probably not go for Viviscal either. It's still really pricey, so it's not the kind of supplement that you afford at any time. But compared to Nutrafol, it's definitely cheaper, so it's more affordable. And if I had to pick a winner between these two, it would probably be Viviscal, just because I have no choice. Viviscal has been on the market since the 90s, so it's obvious that it's going to have a lot more evidence behind. It actually has 3 studies conducted on it, so this is a major advantage. On the other hand, Nutrafol is a more recent product, so it only has 1 clinical trial behind. That's why Viviscal is the winner here. However, I have to mention that about 90% of the supplements from the market don't have any clinical trial conducted on them. They only have clinical trials conducted on their separate ingredients. So you should know that both Nutrafol and Viviscal have a main advantage by the fact that they have at least 1 clinical trial behind. But if I had to compare these two, Viviscal would be the clear winner because it has 3 clinical trials behind versus 1 in Nutrafol. So, does Nutrafol win this competition, or is Viviscal the winner? Well, after doing this analysis, I would probably pick Viviscal as the winner because it won 4 chapters, while Nutrafol only won 2, so if I wanted to be fair, I had to pick Viviscal. Now, I have to tell you that they're both some excellent products, but both of them have some really similar downsides, and I'm mostly talking about price. Now, if you're on a tighter budget and you want to buy one of these two, I would truly go for Viviscal because it's cheaper. Nutrafol actually costs double. It does have a better formula and some better features, but in terms of price, it's really hard to afford on the long term. Viviscal is still expensive, but it's a lot more affordable than Nutrafol, so I would truly recommend it between these two. Now, some of you may not afford neither Viviscal nor Nutrafol, and that's totally fine. I couldn't afford them on a long term either, so if you're in this situation, I'm going to recommend you the supplement that I've been using myself for a long time. I pretty much consider that it's an alternative to both Nutrafol and Viviscal because it has a great formula and it works just like them, at least in my case. It's called Folexin, and you can find it for even $18 per bottle. And if you want a cheaper alternative to both of these supplements, that's the product that I recommend instead. As for Viviscal and Nutrafol, it's totally up to you. If you're on a real large budget and you want the supplement that has the best formula, then go for Nutrafol. But if you're on a tighter budget and you want a brand supplement, then I would surely go for Viviscal. So that's pretty much my analysis between these two products. I really hope you enjoyed this review and see you next time.